Leon found himself reincarnated into a fantasy world. Instead of a simple lamp, a grand chandelier hung above him, casting a warm glow. Candles adorned the walls, replacing the modern LED lights he was accustomed to. It became clear to Leon that he had entered a realm that lagged behind his previous world in terms of civilization. As he lay in his mother's loving arms, a maid stood nearby, watching over them. In his previous life, Leon had been an orphan who met an untimely demise due to overwork. However, his new surroundings indicated that he was born into a wealthy household. His enchanting mother assured him of a comfortable and prosperous future. The years swiftly passed, and as Leon grew older, he climbed onto a rickety chair to gaze out of the window. The world beyond confirmed his suspicion. It was truly a different realm. Witnessing Leon's precarious perch, the maid hurriedly rushed to his side, gently lifting him into her arms. She explained the danger of standing on such an unstable chair. It was during this time that Leon discovered his family's noble status. They belonged to the Grand Duchy within the kingdom. Specifically, Leon was the son of the Grand Duke of Dragonia, within the kingdom of Lionheart. At the tender age of 8, Leon received his first sword, marking the beginning of his training as a swordsman. His eyes brimmed with excitement as he examined the gleaming weapon. Alongside his martial training, Leon wondered if he could harness something beyond his physical abilities, perhaps aura or chi. His mentor, Sir Gothic, a knight sent from the palace to instruct him, affirmed that such potential existed. Sir Gothic attributed it to the will of the goddess and emphasized the immense value in training Leon. The young protagonist, bearing the name Leon, eagerly embraced the opportunity to be taught by Sir Gothic. However, as time passed, Leon began to realize that the training was far from enjoyable. It bordered on torture and child abuse. Sir Gothic, a stern and unyielding mentor, spared no effort in imparting his knowledge to Leon. To be a knight of the kingdom, you have to complete quests by training, through experience and honor, and being chosen by the Holy Grail to drink its holy water. Leon, as the son of Dragonia, he needed to know everything to be a Grand Duke on top of his training. As he practiced with Sir Gothic, he reminded Leon to always pay attention to his opponent until the very end. During one intense session, Sir Gothic delivered a powerful blow that sent Leon flying backward, causing his sword to shatter upon impact. Exhausted and trembling, Leon collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath. Years rolled by, and Leon, now 16 years old, embarked on a journey through the world, braving the rain. His aim was to be recognized by the deity and earn the esteemed title of Holy Knight. Suddenly, smoke billowed from a nearby forest. A village was under attack by orcs. The flames of destruction engulfed the settlement. And despite the valiant efforts of the knights, the orcs outnumbered them. In the face of seemingly inevitable defeat, the knights resorted to fervent prayers as the orcs walked towards them. In that decisive moment, a voice calls out to the orcs, calling them trash, catching their attention. Leon swiftly intervened, cutting down an orc and effectively ending the attack. 20 years later, Leon finally encountered the deity he had sought for so long. He looked at her with eyes of wonder, admiring her beauty, and seeing why she was called a goddess, as she calls out to him. She entrusted him with a task, a test of his mettle and fate, which Leon accepted without a single thought as he kneeled before her. After accepting the challenge, Leon dedicated years of tireless effort, eventually ascending to the ranks of a holy knight. From that point forward, Leon dedicated himself to a single purpose, eradicating any obstacle that stood in his path. He tore through legions of orcs, vanquished goblins, and crushed the forces of evil that plagued the land. Over time, Leon's ruthless prowess earned him the title of a war knight, giving him the power to gather other knights, as he slaughtered over 700,000 orcs, even including women and children. Despite his deep-seated hatred for the orcs, Leon managed to maintain a stoic smile. Now 35 years old, Leon faced new challenges. The former king had fallen in battle against an archdemon summoned by the Empire, leaving Leon to contend with the rising menace of demons. Orcs had already given him headaches, and now these malevolent creatures roamed freely, spreading fear and terror. In an effort to restore peace to these troubled times, many sought solace in their faith and belief in the gods. Leon held disdain for the mages of the kingdom who had inadvertently summoned the archdemon, needing them to elect a holy knight to be the successor of King Lionheart, who died with honor. It was due to his unwavering dedication, trust, and honor that the deity chose Leon to be the new king. Accepting the honor bestowed upon him, Leon made a solemn vow not to forsake his loyal knights and followers. He received the sacred treasure Lionheart of the goddess, consuming it to further enhance his abilities. Swearing to protect the Holy Grail, Leon's story unfolded as he became the Grand Duke Dragonia and king over the Lionheart Kingdom. 80 years elapsed, during which countless events transpired. 3 major wars ravaged the land, each involving the orcs. A lowly goblin rose to become an archdemon, and the kingdom faced even graver perils. In the midst of these dire circumstances, a knight informed Leon about the kingdom's school of black magic, conducting perilous experiments. Leon realized that the kingdom's actions had inadvertently played into the hands of a nefarious cult residing in the north. Rallying his knights, Leon resolved to conquer this newfound threat. 96 years had passed since Leon's birth, and the bastions of the kingdom had finally accomplished their grim objective. They stood amidst a ritual, where the emperor sacrificed 3 million lives, beseeching the fulfillment of his desperate wish to cheat death. Alas, his plea went unanswered as he perished alongside the 3 million innocent civilians, and in the heart of the capital, the Lord of Chaos was summoned. Leon then gathers his knights, and took out the holy sword, that was still not dry from the previous war, from the orcs' last years. 121 years after Leon's birth, he embarked on a journey to the capital. While he exerted his utmost effort, the world around him crumbled. Despite his hopes for a different outcome, Leon found himself holding a doll, a symbol of his unwavering commitment to vanquish evil. He had devoted every ounce of his being to eradicate the darkness that plagued the continent. But fate proved unyielding. Surrounded by fallen warriors, Leon clenched his fist, lost in introspection. A knight approached him, pulling him back to reality. Leon, with a heavy heart, spoke of his fallen father, honoring his memory and expressing pride in his honorable demise. He declared that his father would now feast with the gods. Casting his gaze upon his troops, Leon questioned if they, too, could hear the haunting cries of evil that swept across the land. With an impassioned speech, he bolstered their morale as the forces of evil descended upon their fortress. He asked them once again if they could hear the voices of those who had lost their loved ones to the darkness. Fueling their rage, Leon prepared his troops for a final battle. As Leon stood there, the doll he had picked up lay solemnly at a grave. He reminded his troops that, as long as they held onto their honor, they could never be defeated. In a display of his magical prowess, Leon summoned his weapon and readied himself for the impending clash. The goddess assured him that she would remain by his side until the end. The flag bearing the emblem of the Duke fluttered proudly in the air. As Leon called upon the name of Lionheart and led his troops forward, they fought valiantly against the endless hordes of demons that plagued the earth. On the battlefield, dragon-like creatures and otherworldly beings clashed, while barbarians, enslaved and forced into servitude, served as mere cannon fodder. Alongside them, civilians armed with makeshift barricades and shields fought alongside honorable knights, sacrificing their lives in defense of their homeland. Amidst this chaos, Leon, the chosen one among the gods in the holy temple, demonstrated unwavering resolve. He tore through thousands of demon lords and archdemons, showcasing his holy strength. 217 years went by, winter had yet to end, as Leon continued to fight the demons by himself for years to come. 256 years after his birth, Leon eradicated the last remaining demon portal, sealing away any possibility of escape for the demonic horde. He turns to the demons, telling them that they were not stuck in this world with him. The demons trembled in fear as Leon declared his unwavering resolve to annihilate every last one of their kind. Without hesitation, Leon embarked on his mission, wasting no time in dismantling the demonic forces. 300 years after his birth, he single-handedly vanquished a colossal demon, disposing of it within seconds. A group of astonished onlookers gathered near the fallen body, perplexed by the swift turn of events. Their eyes widened in disbelief as they look at the decapitated head of the demon. Their collective gaze shifted towards Leon, who radiated a yellow aura, an undeniable symbol of his power. They wondered who this extraordinary individual could be. Leon, now among mortals once more, introduced himself as the King of Lionheart and the envoy of the Holy Temple. The humans stood in awe, staring at his naked presence, as Leon told them his name, Leon Dragonia Lionheart. A gate ominously opened in the midst of Seoul, its nature eluding classification. The Korea Hunter Association and the World Hunter Association swiftly sent out a request for assistance to the largest guilds. However, due to the lack of a thorough assessment of the portal's difficulty, their plea for help was met with refusal. Eventually, it was decided that a team from the Korea Hunter Association, resembling a suicide mission, would be sent in. The members of the association couldn't help but display their fear in the face of this perilous undertaking. As they entered the portal, the sky itself seemed drenched in blood, and they found Leon standing naked. The ground was littered with the lifeless corpses of thousands of demons. Shaking off her daze, Hari snapped back to reality. Another man named Kim Jinu handed her a cup of coffee. He inquired about what had transpired. Hari expressed her disbelief, stating that no one would believe what they had witnessed. Understanding the gravity of the situation, Jinsu calmly acknowledged that such an outcome was to be expected. It became apparent that the portal they had faced was likely an black-ranked black demon portal, possibly even harboring a great demon. The fact that they had returned unaided by other guilds was a true miracle in itself, and the daunting task of cleaning up the aftermath seemed unimaginable. All of this was attributed to their encounter with Leon. Leon, now fully dressed, sat at a desk in an interrogation room. It had become clear to those observing that he was a survivor from within the depths of the portal. Occasionally, individuals managed to survive within the worlds contained within these portals. For the past 30 years, these portals had been appearing randomly across the globe, always depicting a world on the verge of destruction or one already engulfed in chaos. Some fortunate survivors, like Leon, made their way back to Earth, carrying with them the incredible strength they had gained in the demon world. The government made it a priority to provide for and recruit these survivors, understanding the significance of their abilities in order to scout them. Hari emphasized the need to recruit Leon due to his incredible strength, a sentiment that Jinsu wholeheartedly agreed with. Even an A-ranked hunter would have to risk their life when facing a high-ranking demon, yet Leon had effortlessly defeated one with a single strike. It was a monster that even S-ranked hunters would fear. He didn't just kill it. He completely overpowered it. However, Jinsu expressed concern regarding the cultural implications of Leon's presence. Hari, less worried about such matters, claimed she could sense something in Leon's voice. In a sudden outburst, Leon's anger reached its peak, causing the glass surrounding him to shatter. The shards scattered, interrupting their conversation, leaving Hari and Jinsu amazed by Leon's display of power. Enveloped in a yellow aura, Leon's rage became apparent. Sarcastically, Jinsu echoed Hari's previous words, while she, in turn, echoed Jinsu's sentiments. 15 minutes earlier, a camera had recorded the conversation, while an agent diligently took notes on a flat piece of paper. This agent engaged in a conversation with Leon, an experience that felt unfamiliar to him. Memories of his past life as an orphan in his 20s, succumbing to exhaustion, and being reborn as a king for over a century flooded Leon's mind. After conquering the world of demons, he hunted demons for 200 years. Despite his actual age of 300 years, he was relieved to still have memories of this place. The agent mustered his courage and addressed Leon, who maintained a focused expression. Leon saw no advantage in revealing his origin from Earth and instead insisted on being addressed as His Majesty, belittling the agent as a mere peasant. This unexpected response somewhat surprised and shocked the agent, evident by the beads of sweat forming on his forehead. The agent played along, offering apologies and continuing to address Leon as His Majesty. Leon contemplated whether the agent was genuinely kind or if this was how all survivors would be treated by the government. The agent proceeded to explain to Leon that their world had made contact with his and inquired if he had indeed defeated all the demons. Leon confirmed his triumph, prompting him to question whether the agent had already forgotten. Perplexed, the agent expressed his confusion, and Leon proceeded to clarify that he had eradicated all the evil and protected the honor of the knights. With conviction, Leon demanded that the agent become his temporary secretary. The agent, recollecting the situation, once again found himself covered in beads of sweat. Understanding that there would likely be cultural differences that came with addressing a royal figure. Amidst their conversation, Leon expressed his hunger, which compelled the agent to swiftly order food. Additionally, Leon yearned to understand the world he now found himself in and the extent of its changes in recent years. The agent began explaining that portals had emerged worldwide 30 years ago, unleashing monsters and demons into their realm. Following these incidents, the world had remained in a perpetual state of alertness. After numerous defeats, it became apparent that each portal held its own theme and quest that needed to be fulfilled. If the quest went uncompleted, monsters would continue to emerge from the portal, attacking Earth. Just as the agent began his explanation, there was a knock on the door, prompting a pause. The agent excused himself momentarily to receive the food. Leon contemplated the stark contrast between his world, where demons multiplied like mushrooms after rain, and Earth, where portals with distinct themes and quests existed. It seemed as if people were training themselves through these tasks. Returning to the conversation, the agent, now addressing Leon as His Majesty, informed him that the food had arrived. As Leon glanced down at the steaming bowl of food, he recognized it as his favorite meal from his previous life on Earth. However, he suppressed his cravings, aware that he must not indulge in his former favorite food. Inquiring about the nature of the dish, he remarked that it seemed fit for a commoner. In a fit of rage, Leon shouted and pounded on the table. He screams at the agent, yelling how they dare to serve a royal, a peasant's dish, as the agent cowers in fear. Leon was a royal from another world, the proxy for the gods. As he tells the agent to get out of the room. He held multiple titles, being the incarnation of the history of the 300-year war itself. Leon thinks of the place as a mess, believing it was because there was no proper religion faith. The delectable food that had been placed before him remained untouched on the floor, its steam slowly dissipating. Before him lay a juicy steak, expertly cooked and accompanied by a sprinkle of rosemary and a few slices of lemon. Leon indulged in the succulent T-bone steak and complimented it with a sip of a vintage red wine from the year 1933. Hari, appreciative that Leon at least enjoyed the meal, Jinsu suggested that she should enter first. Jinsu's suggestion startled her as she realized she couldn't speak the ancient language, mentioning that Leon seemed more interested in Hari than the others. He further noted that Hari was the only one who had received the compliment from Leon. Nervously, Hari opened the door to the conference room and greeted Leon, who wiped his mouth and recognized her as the woman with the sword whom he had saved. He requested that she take a seat. Observing the scene from the surveillance room, Hari suddenly signaled to Jinsu, causing beads of sweat to form on Jinsu's face. Inquiring about the food, Hari asked Leon if he liked it, to which Leon replied that it wasn't bad. Leon then explained that it wasn't the food itself that made it difficult for them, but rather their attitude toward a king. Hari's face turned blue with realization, expressing her lack of awareness and regret for not showing him enough respect. Leon reassured her that it was all right and politely asked for her name. As Leon's eyes sparkled with focus, he inquired whether the demons had also appeared on Earth. Hari, aware of her task to recruit Leon, confirmed his question, determined to win him over for her country in the 21st century. She believed that gaining survivors like Leon was a crucial factor that could potentially lead to a world war, regardless of how much they offered in return as long as they didn't join another country. Leon, still focused, stated that as long as he lived in this world, he had the duty to take to the battlefield as an honorable knight, for fighting was the only righteous path. Hari's excitement grew, as it almost sounded like Leon was considering joining the Hunter Association. Leon then clarified that a king couldn't simply be a soldier of a nation, therefore, he desired to establish a knight order. Hari was left speechless, nodding in agreement. She inquired about the response of the higher-ups to this matter. Jinsu explained that they couldn't say anything, as they had to provide Leon with as much support as he needed. Jinsu expressed his amazement that Leon hadn't chosen to go to another country or join a larger guild. Hari, feeling somewhat dejected at the thought of the government having to bow down to him, couldn't help but feel angry. She voiced her frustration, citing other guilds that flaunted their strength and wealth, particularly mentioning the Phoenix Guild as an example. Suddenly, the ground shook and an alarm blared. Hari and Jinsu received a message on their phones, alerting them that a portal was on the verge of breaking out, releasing monsters. Jinsu explained that if the demons were to appear in that location, they would destroy at least half of the grain storage and production. Hari insisted that the portal needed to be closed, specifically in the area controlled by the Phoenix Guild. She believed that it shouldn't be a difficult task for their S-rank leader. However, Jinsu had a different perspective and believed that their leader, Youngwon SSI, had other plans in mind. He expressed the urgency to go quickly and stop the impending disaster. Meanwhile, Leon overheard the conversation and realized that they were in trouble. He understood that things were different in this world compared to his own. Controlling the flow of his yellow aura from his hand, he wondered if they would be able to handle the situation. As a result, a connection was established, and a castle came into view, with a woman inside. She turned around, revealing a beautiful smile. Above the fields, an orange portal circled, indicating the imminent danger. Lee Yongwon, the guildmaster of the Phoenix Guild, was already present at the scene as Hari and Jinsu asked him what was happening. But the Phoenix Guild remained relaxed as Hari and Jinsu stared at them in anger for not doing anything. Jinsu's desperation was evident, while Yongwon wore a dirty grin on his face. Hari expressed her anger, emphasizing that the Phoenix Guild already enjoyed numerous privileges as a large guild, yet they were willing to allow such calamity due to unmet demands. Hari confronted Yongwon, the leader of the Phoenix Guild, in a fit of fury, questioning if he understood the consequences if the plants became infected. Yongwon simply laughed in a derisive manner, claiming he had no idea, and that his guild members were injured. Instead, They will try tomorrow. This frustrates Hari as she yells at him as Jinsu holds her back. Yongwon simply laughs at her, reminding Hari that he had previously stated that justice was merely strength and money. You re quite shallow and old-fashioned, Leon said as he appears. Hari called Leon by his name by accident instead of Your Majesty, as Leon tells her he only permitted her to call him by his title. Yongwon yells at Leon, asking who he think he was, as Leon tells him to be quiet. Angry veins visibly pulsated on Leon's face. How dare someone speak as lowly as you speak? Leon shouted. Yongwon thought to himself about how someone can talk like this to an S-rank in Guildmaster. Yongwon was on the verge of attacking Leon, but was halted by Hari, who implored him to stop. She explained that Leon was a survivor, which left Yongwon in a state of shock. He promptly bowed before Leon, acknowledging his status as a survivor. Yongwon, curious about which guild Leon belonged to, was met with Leon's stern emphasis that a king doesn't speak twice and that he should remain silent. Leon turned to Jinsu, urging him to explain the problem in the portals to him. Hari and Jinsu were overjoyed at the turn of events. Hari explained that this situation was a dungeon break, and when it occurred, a great demonic energy emerged from the portal, infecting the land. Seeds would not grow in such contaminated soil. Furthermore, they emphasized that this land was crucial for grain production, making it particularly critical. Leon, determined, asked if they had a solution. Hari explained that the dungeon needed to be defeated swiftly to cleanse the land. Understanding the gravity of the situation, Leon asked Hari to gather her people. He made it clear that as soon as the deadline set by the Phoenix Guild expired the following day, he would personally venture forth to defeat the dungeon. Hari couldn't believe what she was hearing. However, Leon emphasized that he needed the government's permission to proceed. Otherwise, he wouldn't be an honorable knight anymore. Yongwon, realizing that Leon's circumstances were even more challenging than his own, called the president to request permission, which was granted. As night fell, Hari informed Leon that all the preparations had been made. She couldn't help but wonder about the significance of the straw doll she was supposed to create for him. Leon elucidated that their land was infected and needed to be cleansed. Puzzled, Hari struggled to comprehend the connection between the straw doll and the land. Leon requested two things, the straw doll itself and that the women who crafted the dolls had to be mothers. Leon now wanted to see each doll that the women had made. With curiosity, Leon carefully examined each doll. But none met his expectations. He discarded them, throwing them on the ground or casting them aside. Eventually, an elderly woman approached, capturing Leon's attention with her beautifully crafted doll. Leon was amazed by its artistry. He asked the elderly lady how many children she had given birth to, and with enthusiasm, she replied, 12. Leon kissed her hand in reverence, took the doll, and placed it on an altar in the center of the grain field. He declared that the condition had been fulfilled. A magical circle materialized around Leon's hand as he retrieved a holy grail and began to pray. Even Yongwon watched in disbelief. From the holy grail emerged a golden globe, and the water within multiplied. Hari stood in awe as the water overflowed, and the sun's rays began to shine upon the land. The water sprinkled all around, rejuvenating the soil. Leon closed his eyes, allowing the magic to unfold. The splashing water flowed into the doll, and the guild's followers watched in amazement as the doll stood up on its own end, began to speak. Leon greeted the doll, addressing it as Mother Earth. The doll, its gaze fixed on Leon, responded, "It has been a while. Divinity had descended on this land.